Hello and welcome. My name is Holly. This is my channel called Hobbies of Holly, and it's a place where I talk about my hobbies. My hobbies include cross stitch, quilting, knitting, crocheting. I don't even know what else, but all of those things and more. I'm glad you're here. Today is August 27th, and this is episode 26. I usually forget to say those things, so I'm pretty proud of myself right now. How have you been? I am in Dayton, Ohio, where it has cooled off, and I'm so happy. Yesterday, I put on hand knit socks and a cardigan and sat on my deck because it was just a little bit chilly, and that makes me happy. I'm ready for it. I'm coming to you today with whips, and I'm so excited because I have shared in the past that my stitchy bug was kind of gone. And so after my last episode, which was an extra, floss tube extra, that I did a whip parade, it really motivated me to start stitching again. So since we last met, which I think has been getting close to 3 weeks ago, I've been stitching, doing a little bit of sewing, which is good because my sewing bug is also gone, and crocheting and knitting. And I'm going to show you all of those things. So I hope that you will stay with me. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And if you're returning, you know how thankful I am that you return. I hope that you will like and subscribe and keep coming back. The first thing in my pile is a previously finished cross stitch item. Oh, I should have brought the chart out, but I did not. But I have this out because I think I might take it to a framer today. This is Velvet to Linen by Kathy Barrick. It was market release by Kathy, and I loved it so very much that it was the first thing I picked up. Now, I showed you this as a finish a couple months ago, and someone kindly pointed out that something is wrong in my vase and base. Can you see it? I did not see it. And I showed my friend, and she said, just leave it. And so I'm gonna leave it, because if I fixed it, like all of this would have to shift, and it's quirky and I'm quirky. So I'm leaving it, and I think I'm going to take it to the framer. I might have it matted and framed. We will see. I'm gonna see what matting will cost, but that is a previous finish. I stitched this on a Legacy Fiber Arts linen. I will have to look it up to tell you which one. And I used the NPI silks that I got from Olivia at Hillside Rookery. I love it a lot. It's almost full coverage. It's very dense. As I said, I've been stitching, and I'm happy to show you the things. First of all, I pulled out a peacock, a unicorn, and a badger. This is by Scarlet Letter, and somehow Velvet to Linen and this piece, maybe because they have similar colors, but this is the chart. It's going to take me a very long time, but I want to hurry up and stitch it. I'll show you where I am. Oh, I should grab a board, which is on the floor. Okay, I have it. Oh, and I have dangling threads, many of them apparently, but this is what I have done. Can you even stand the vibrant colors on this? Because I cannot. Since I last showed you, I believe I filled in this bird, I've done this, I started the big tree, I did this. I really love it. Every time I show it, I think, okay, that's it, I'm leaving it out. Where did I just put the chart? Okay, so you can see my progress. I am working in this corner. I'm trying to work my way over to the sun, but then I get excited and keep going down too. So I think I'm kind of working on pages, but let's see. I am just a little bit over halfway across. Oh, I love it. Love it, love it. I'm using Pub Crawl linen from Roxy Floss Co., which you can get from Evertote, and I'm using the DMC flosses. And many of you are stitching it along. I just saw Emily C. post today that she had progress on it. Carrie Tiger Lily is like gonna be done in a minute. And Shelly was also stitching it. I know my friend Sue is stitching it. You're probably stitching it, and I just can't think of it in my brain right now, but that's that one. I put a little bit of time into Jessie Chalmers. This is an exclusive from the attic. I am not very precious with my charts, you'll see, but this is Jessie. Again, you can get her from the attic. You can choose the brights or the muteds. This is the front of the antique sampler when they charted it. This is when they unframed it, took it out. This is how vibrant it was, and it faded to this. I love muted colors. That's kind of my jam. So I am using, oops, I lost that floss. I am using the 103 silks. Oh, I finally put cards in my whips. Lakeside Sand Dune 36 count. I also kind of wrinkle them up when I stick them in the project bag, so excuse the wrinkles. Oh, she's very wrinkly, but I've started. I have a hard time when you have to stitch something again, and so I'm working over here to do this flower again. And I felt like, even though that doesn't look like a lot, that was a couple evenings worth of stitches because there's a lot of color changes in that. Are you embarrassed about my wrinkles? I'm a little bit embarrassed, but not enough to iron. So that is how Jessie is looking. She's really lovely. And because it's 36 count, it's easy on my old eyeballs. Hey, that reminds me. Somewhere they're here. I'll probably run across them, but in case I don't, I want to mention in my last episode, I'm still looking, I talked about these little, oh, I bet they're in here. Yes. I talked about these. And okay, I'm going to look silly for you, but I pop them behind my glasses and they're magnifiers. I have them in 1s, 2s, 3s, and everything in between, but I think I like 3s. These are called, I think they're by Noble, N-O-B-L-E. I got them on Amazon. They come in a 3-pack. And if you go to my whip parade, I linked them in the description. But I like them because you don't have to flip them up. They stay in place really well. I picked the first pair up on a freebie table at Stitch Florida last year and loved them. So that's what I use. Okay, that's Jessie. Now who's here? Let's talk about Pretty in Pink. I wish I could remember who. Somebody mentioned they were working on it, and that, who was it? Shelly, maybe. Antique Needleworkers. That made me pull it right out. I have a needle in it. Okay, this is the cover of the chart by Shakespeare's Peddler. This was 2024 market release, and I really like pinks, and it's a little bit muted, so I love it, but I'm gonna tell you right now, those leaves and vines are no joke. I started from the top and I'm working my way down. Whoa, on this. And since I last showed it to you, I have gotten like this section done, and it feels like a big accomplishment because it's been like these leaves just pull me down, but I'm getting really close to, well, I'm over halfway on it. I'll hold this side by side. And once I get, okay, I'm right here to that third big flower, then I'll almost be to the vase. Now, I think Shelly said that was a lot of stitching in the vase, but that's like fill-in, and I love fill-in. I am using 56 count because I bought it at the attic when I was there in January, and Jean had stitched it and it was beautiful. I'm using Seraphim, 56 count. I don't have the color name down. Karen, the Recovering Monogamous Stitcher. Didn't we buy that together? Do you remember what color this is? Because I do not. And I'm using the Attic Conversion and the Soisserfine because it is 56 count. Huge difference in the Soisserfine. These are the silks that I'm using. It is so fine. I don't even know if I hold one up, if you could see how fine it is. Not if I can't find the end. Oh, here's one. Can you even tell? It's so fine. So much more fine than 103s. So it's perfect on 56 count. I have another 56 count that I'm using 103s on, and I wish I had known to use Swasserfine on it. So I'm making good progress on Pretty in Pink. Hey, speaking of Karen, the recovering monogamous stitcher, Karen and Janet, who is my mother's daughter, KY, both of them have floss tubes. They sent me an email that they are doing a stitch along for America's 250th anniversary next year. It's our, I forget the word for the 50 part, but we will be 150 years old. They are doing hashtag Stars and Stripes Sal, and they're using Plum Street's Stars and Shakers Peddlers stripes. And I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but what I was trying to say is America's 250th birthday, and I couldn't spit out Shakespeare's Peddler. I hope that helps. Carry on. It goes in between. Go to their channels to get more information. Their goal is to be finished by Memorial Day so that they can have it up and displayed. So I wanted to mention that to you because I forgot last time. Okay, next up, and I should serge this fabric, but I talked about this on my whip parade. I have finished the front of the house, and sometimes I can be done is good enough. And so I was just going to do the front and just maybe just have the wool on the back. But I presented that and you all said, Holly, don't be lazy, stitch the back. Okay, you didn't really say it that well. But in my family, my niece, when she was little, said, don't be lazy, get up and get that ball. So we kind of say that. So I started it last night because Merritt Crawford, who is So Just Because on Floss Tube, encouraged me to start it. And a few of my whips have been because others have encouraged me to work on them, and that helps me. So if you're stitching anything that I'm stitching, especially from that whip parade last time, send me an Instagram message or email me and tell me, hey, why don't you work on that today? And I'll work on it with you. So Merritt is working on it. So if I ever lose my stitchy bug again, I need you to remind me. Send me a message, a comment. Hey, you know who gets you stitchy bug back? Is Stacy Nash. I don't know why. When I pick up a Stacy Nash, I just want to stitch it until it's done. Anybody else feel that way? Like, I don't want to put it down. I just want to keep stitching. This was a Jingle Ball release last year, and it is not available until Jingle Ball this year. And I think, if I understand it right, it's only going to be available at the Jingle Ball. I had Gingerbread House coming out at the same time as Jingle Ball. So it is worth I think it's gonna be $15 this year. It's worth the $15 admission just to be able to purchase this. Now, I don't know if it will be a kit this year. I did not buy it as a kit. Because I have so much linen and floss, I like to just kit things myself a lot of times, not all the time. But I bought the chart, and then you could purchase from Blackberry Primitives the 2 items to go with it. This is the wool, and this is a linen, but it's not a cross-stitch linen that Blackberry Primitives creates for this. And so when it's finished, those are the innards of it. This is what I have. I love Stacy Nash, and I don't know, I could just stitch all Stacy Nash and be happy. I think if I was on a desert island, just probably give me Stacy Nash kit and I'll be good to go. Okay, Rosie on Instagram told me that she was going to be working on Martha Walmsley. And again, that's the motivation I need. So I pulled Martha out. I should show you her chart. Get her out. Turn to the cover. Okay, here is Martha Walmsley by Hands Across the Sea. I'm in love with her, and I've had her going for a couple of years. This, I think, is a Hobby House exclusive. I know I purchased it at Hobby House, and I am using the 103s that go with it, which I also purchased from Hobby House. And this has been at least a year and a half in the making, because I think I went to Hobby House in the fall, didn't I? I love this, love this, love this. Can you see if I put this behind it? So So I had this part done and I had the flower, and so in the last week I did the bowl or the vase that goes with that, and now I'm going to put it away for a little while. My brain needs breaks when I work on this one, so I can only do it a few days at a time. Rosie is working on completing the entire border, and I just want you to see what that looks like to do the entire border. I'm just excited to get to the bird. That might be my next place I jump to. I'll probably, yeah, I might be able to count off and just get to the bird. Isn't that tail fantastic? I'm excited. So thank you, Rosie. Okay, I am stitching that on Tabby Cat Lollybrock 40 count with the 103s. And I have that in a Debbie Stitching portfolio, and I have the 103s in ice cube trays from Amazon. Okay, there is Martha. Who's next? This is a Michelle Lee Quilts bag. She makes really nice bags. She's a long armer, and so she long arms her fabrics after she pieces them. Oh, guess what? This one's a new start. My friend Sue, who is part of Floss Toss and part of Legacy Fiber Arts, started Anne Grimshaw. She actually, I'll let her tell it, but she's restitching Anne Grimshaw. And I've had this in my stash and I've wanted to stitch it. And she was starting it again, and I was like, all right, I'll do it with you because I needed a new start, right? So I pulled a giant piece of Legacy Vintage Buttercream. I've been really stashing Legacy linen lately. Traditional Stitches in Canada. I think I've told you this before, but if you go on their website, they don't stock it, but if you pre-order it, you don't pay for it until it comes in. When they get it, they notify you and will invoice you and send it. Okay, so here's what I've done. I think this is a lot since the last time I talked to you. Quakers hurt my head. They make me really think, so there's a lot of frogging that happens. In fact, I had to take all of this out and redo it because I was down a few. But look at her. I'm using chalkboard, which is really my favorite black from Roxy Floss Co. And again, this is what it looks like. So you can see I have a long way to go since that's all I've done. It's gonna be huge. I had forgotten how much love I have for a black sampler. I did a Modern Folk Embroidery year-long stitch a few years ago, and I loved it. There's just something great about not changing colors, as I have to do with Martha Walmsley a lot, and I just love the look. I love the simplicity. So I would really like a black sampler wall. Now, while I'm talking about this, I'm gonna show you something. Do you like how I jump all over? New starts, whips, my stitchy calendar. This is by My Crazy Life Lori, and I really like how I like her design a lot, and I know she's doing one for next year because we've talked about it. So this is August. It's not necessarily lovely in my stickers, but it makes me happy. But guess what Sean Periwinkle Stitcher does? When she finishes a floss, she sticks the floss card, the tag in there. And I love that. So I just have a glue stick and I glued that right in, and I peeled the chalkboard off the back. I didn't finish it on that project, but I think it was probably leftover from my Engeltite, I can't remember her last name, Modern Folk Embroidery piece. I know I've shown it to you before, and it's my entryway upstairs. It's hanging there. I have not been great at stitching. In fact, look how sad July is. Sad. Oh, I just lost something. But August was much better, and I feel like I'm back on track. I've pre-decorated September. I just like to use some washi tape in it to start, and that way it's not just blank. Okay, so that is my Anne Grimshaw. Let us see what's next. Oh, okay, so this also is a result of my Whip Parade. which was my first, and thank you all for being so kind about it. This is Louisa Coulamore. It is by Hands Across the Sea, and it's a Bristol sampler. I love Bristol samplers. This is the first one that this is the only one I have ever started, and it's probably my oldest whip. I love it. I also love all red samplers. Monochromatic must be my favorite thing. I love the history behind Bristol samplers. One day I'm gonna get to the Bristol retreat at the attic. I just haven't yet. But I love George Mueller and all he did for those orphans. Adoption is near and dear to my heart because of a situation in our family. And so this just speaks to me. I like to buy all the Bristols just to collect them to honor these girls and what they did. Okay, so I had mentioned before that I only had a little bit of silk. I knew it was NPI and I had not noted the color and I was panicked. So I pulled my NPIs and thought, let's just see what I can find. Guess what I found? I had purchased a hank of it from Colorado Cross Stitcher. So this is color 504, the Chinese Red Range. I am using 36 count Low Tide by Legacy Fiber Art, which is my favorite Legacy Fiber Art. Where did I put my board? Oh, right here. I'm gonna show you. I'm pretty proud of myself. I made it all the way across. I just have to finish the O. And I will have made it all the way across. I did panic yesterday. I'm hoping to make this two threads a day, 2 strands a day. I'm not very good at that because I want to just keep stitching, but I've kept it in my little stitchy spot in the basement and come down in the middle of the day and just put a little work in it. If I could keep that up, maybe I could make some progress. But I panicked because it's a really large piece and this doesn't seem like a lot of length. So I measured, I'm okay. Barely, but I'm okay. And if you can tell, I have the first row of alphabet, a long way to go, but won't it be fun to get to this crown and all of that. This first alphabet is a little bit fussy, but I'm surprised. I started this in April of 22, and I think just skill level has increased in the 3 years, and it doesn't feel as fussy now. I can get through it a lot faster. Also, can I tell you, I love the name Louisa. I'm a historical fiction lover, and it seems like any good English story has a Louisa in it. And I have told my only daughter, who still might have another child, could you have a girl and name her Louisa? Because I love that name. So in my heart, I'm gonna have one more grandchild and her name's gonna be Louisa. Okay, it's not up to me, I know, but I love that name. So there's Louisa, mystery solved. I found a hank of silk, so I can now stitch on with her. Okay, another whip. What am I at? 23 minutes. I'm doing okay. Another whip that I started so long ago for my firstborn child, who is Alyssa, who is an August birthday. Anything I stitch and I post on Instagram, she's like, is that for me? Because I love that. So when I had purchased this chart, I showed it to her and she fell in love. Jane Hopkins, 1875. This is also a very old whip and I'm not very far on it. So in honor of her birthday, which was middle of August, I stitched on it for a few days. And again, my goal is to get to the fun part, which is this. I've told you this before, but one of my granddaughters, Penny, we went to Disney World and she's not a big fan of the big rides. So she got stuck riding Small World with the little kids. And I said, Penny, how was Small World? She said, well, it wasted all my fun time. So that's one of my favorite quotes now. And I feel like the borders sometimes just waste all my fun time. But here's what I've done. Okay. I think I only had a little bit here done, and so I've gotten this whole flower motif stitched, and I'm into the fun part. Just a little bit, but I'm there. Now, I did learn that my border is off. Thankfully, I've not done a ton of it. but to me that's a lot. I am 1 stitch over and 1 stitch down too far. So I'm 1 stitch off each way. I fudge when I can, like done is better than perfect is my theme in most things. And so I wrote myself a Post-it note and put it on the back of the chart, reminding myself when I pick this up again that the border's off, so don't use the border as a landmark. And then I'll decide. I'll get down and figure out if I can keep it or if it must come out. And if it must come out, probably it's gonna come out and not go back in because it would still be beautiful. And that's what my friend Kim, the contented needleworker, does. She leaves off a lot of borders. Kim, you've done this too, haven't you? So I'm pretty excited about that. And that seems to have concluded all of my cross stitch whips, which I feel like is a lot for the past few weeks for a girl whose stitchy bug has been missing for a while. Do you mind if we talk about quilting a little bit? Pull it over here. I love this book. Oh, I'm gonna have to really get up. Hold, please. Okay, I made this quilt 2 years ago in time for Christmas with my grandkids. It's an I Spy quilt. My friend Teresa, the Garden Goose, is the one who told me about I Spy quilts. And this pattern is inspired by Woodbury Way. She has such fun patterns. But look, so we played I Spy at Christmas the year I made it, and my grandkids all had so much fun with it. I wonder if I can find my favorite block. Probably not, but there's a little child. Oh, here's one of them. I have 2 fabrics that are inclusive with disabled children in them. Let me see if I can show you. Oh, I just saw it. Now where did it go? Oh, here it is. Can you see that little guy in the wheelchair? And then I have another fabric that's like a large child in a wheelchair. If you ever see any disability inclusive fabrics, will you let me know? Will you tag me or something in it? Okay, so that has become an obsession. I love I Spy quilt, low volume I Spy quilts. I love regular volume too. I just haven't made a quilt with it yet. So I have 3 baby quilts I need to be making, and I've decided I Spy quilts will be fun ones. So I have, this is enough to do one of the baby quilts. And this is what, okay, so this is how it starts out. I sew and then trim and press and then put them all together into lines. It's very simple. It's very beginner friendly, but the fabrics are just so fun. Like I Spy with my little eye, bananas, etc., etc. Mushrooms. A jacket. So it goes together. I've done I Spy swaps, and it's really fun. I've done it with a friend, Merritt, again, and I've done kind of a group one. Now there's a Christmas I Spy swap that is happening, and there's still time to get in. In fact, she needs more participants. So if this is something that interests you, it's low volume. She doesn't call it I Spy. She just calls it low volume swap, and we'll be swapping 5-inch squares. Kindred, I always forget her real name, Kindred Spirit Fabric on Instagram. If you go there, I'll try to link it below. You can get the information, but just to give you an idea, so these are some of the fabrics that I am going to be cutting and swapping. Look at this one. Look at this Christmas one with the nativity on it. And I'm trying to decide, I'm a hoarder sometimes, but this Tasha Noel Christmas and this Tasha Noel Christmas, I might be cutting up. And what you do is you take a yard of fabric and you cut it into 5-inch squares, and then you kind of divide and stack them, you know, every other one in 4s. And so you send them to her, you send her money for a prepaid mailing label back, and you will get 4 of everyone else's. So it's really fun. A lot of those fabrics that I showed you in this pile came from the swap I did with her before, but this one's a Christmas one. I would love to have a Christmas I Spy and a beach I Spy. We have a home on the beach, and I would love to have a quilt down there with I Spy ocean things. Okay, that's the quilting stuff I wanted to tell you. Now what? Can I tell you two of my current favorite things? Well, one I think I've told you before, but I need a drink, so. This is my favorite beverage. It is sparkly water I get at Whole Foods, and it's black cherry. It's really the only sparkly water I like. Excuse me, that is a terrible sound, I'm sorry. But it's my favorite. Try it if you like sparkly water. This is the other thing we've discovered. Nutella biscuits. They're the best cookies ever. So get yourself some of these. I got mine at Kroger. Okay, enough of that. Two of my favorite things. Now, I would like to talk to you about knitting. And that reminds me, Jody, Stitching Ocala, she really wants to learn to knit socks, and so she's been working on it if you follow her on Instagram. But she also just shared news about her husband. He's going to be having surgery for lung cancer that was discovered in a calcium, what's that scan called? Calcium something scan that I paid $100 out of pocket. My insurance paid the rest. I think she said it cost them $250, but it saved his life. So please go watch Jody's floss tube or her Instagram story about it. If you haven't had that, you should consider getting it. Okay, this also reminds me, this is a new purchase. Look at this beautiful book that Denise Earth Tones Girl has come out with. It is a sock book. Everything you need to know about socks is in this book. Look at this. My friend Sue is going to be dyeing this special colorway for Denise's shop. It's Earth Tone Girls Minis, I think. So I'm gonna be ordering that ASAP. But this is a fantastic book for beginners and not beginners. My intermediate now, if I've made a bunch of socks, but it's so helpful. I love her heel, her, can't think what it's called. Well, I love her heel. And Denise is so generous that she has all kinds of free tutorials on her YouTube. So if you are somebody who wants to learn to make socks, check out Denise, buy this book. I know that she said yesterday on her YouTube that they've sold out of the first run. So there's a little bit of pause, but you can order this from her or from Amazon, or hopefully your yarn shops will have this. Okay, let's see what I've been knitting. I'll show you this first because when I told my youngest, Julia, that I was going to be filming on YouTube today, she said, good, could I have my socks? Because I finished them and she wants them. These are new socks that I knit for Julia. This is the Crunkle sock, which is one of my favorites. I vanilla sock and I crunkle sock. This is by Kay Jones. This is a garter heel that Shelly will teach you how to do, but this is the pattern. The crunkled sock has the umbrella toe, and it's my favorite. Every sock gets an umbrella toe. And this is one of the Schitt's Creek color yarns from, no it's not, that's a lie, Portal. This is called Portal, that you can get all the time from Legacy Fiber Arts. It reminds me, you know the Rainbow Fish book with the shiny fish? Somehow it looks like scales from Rainbow Fish. So now that I've shown you this, I can give these to Julia. I also finished a pair of socks for Emily, who's my third daughter. They might be big. Oh, no, I see them. This is also a Legacy Fiber Arts sock. This is a vanilla sock that you can either watch Crazy Sock Lady, she has a tutorial on it, or Earth Tone Girls if you would like more information on knitting vanilla socks. But this is Tie-Dye Day, which is a fundraiser that Legacy Fiber Arts is doing for a camp out on the West Coast for kids with disabilities. So if you like this yarn, hurry up, go order it so that you can benefit them. But this pair is for my daughter Emily. So I've finished 2 pair of socks. I've also cast on another pair, but they're not down here since we've last talked. I had shown you things I've started. That's not it. This is it. I am in the Patreon for Kay Jones Bakery Bear, and she is, I'm sorry, my husband's texting me. Okay. This is her Patreon pattern for the summer, and it's the 100-acre wood blanket. And we are a big poo-loving family, And she showed this book because I thought, that doesn't look like poo colors to me. But look at that blanket, that patchworky blanket on Pooh's bed. And so, yes, please. So I'm making progress. It is, I think it's similar to the Cozy Memories blanket, but she has revised it. So look how it's turning out. It's 24 squares long, which might be big. I don't know. It's my first real blanket that I'm doing, so I don't know what size it needs to be. And you're supposed to use scraps, but I don't have a lot of scraps yet. So I'm using minis. Oh, this is my 100-acre wood basket. Like, this is a mini, one of Sue's, this is probably a heels toes cuffs that I stole from a sock set. And I am using Clover 2.75 millimeter DPNs, and I just keep it in on my porch, and anytime I feel like it, I add a block. I think a block, I'm not fast, but it takes me about 40 minutes to do one square. Look at them. Aren't they fun? Oh, it's gonna take me 5 years, but eventually Graham's gonna have a poo blanket, and that makes me happy. Speaking of blankets, Rachel and Sue, Floss Toss, Legacy Fiber Arts, started a blanket, and I was like, fine, I'll do it too. This is called, let's see, I can find you the cover of the pattern. This is by Little Willie Makes, Crochet Log Cabin Square. Now, it's supposed to be just like that, these log cabin squares, and Rachel and Sue are just putting it together just like that. It might be the quilter in me, but I needed a break in between things, so look at all these squares. I'm using Legacy Fiber Arts fingering weight held double and crocheting these. Aren't they fun? They're very easy, and you can memorize the pattern pretty quickly. My first few are wonky. If you try it, give yourself grace to do a couple of blocks before you give up, because it's not tricky. You just have to get used to it. But I had decided, this is my, oh, I've mixed them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is my stack that are not blocked yet. But I've decided to put a cream color border around them to break up, to give my eye a break in between colors. So I've been adding borders to them, and this is my stack of blocked. I'm pretty proud of myself. I need to figure out what size I want it to be to know how many I need, but I think I'm maybe halfway there on my blocks. But it's a very fun project that I sit on my back deck and knit. Nope, I crochet. Let's see, I'm gonna mix up my blocked and my unblocks, but maybe I can tell. And then I pulled out my sweater. Can you hear that beeping? It sounds right here. I finished my first sweater in the spring, and I had already started this. This is the No Frills by Petite Knit. You guys, look how crunkled this is how I keep my pattern. No Frills sweater by Petite Knits. Again, inspired by Sue and Rachel. I believe Chelsea also made this. And I had cast it on, and because it was my first sweater, I had really messed up the raglan sleeves. Not messed up, they just weren't good yet. And I learned a lot from the first sweater I made, so I ripped this all out and restarted it. But look, I think I'm about an inch away from the body, which is fun because it's just round and round. And then I'll be doing some decreases and the ribbing at the bottom, and then I'll start the sleeves. Okay, I'm using Cozy Toes, Legacy Fiber Arts in Lavender Fields, I think, held double with mohair. And okay, that's what it looks like. But when you double it with mohair, it softens it. You know, I love purple, So I am very excited that when it gets a little bit cooler, I'm gonna have this sweater to wear. I'm gonna be really, really proud of myself. Can I say that? If I get the sweater done. Okay, these are things I've purchased since we last talked. These are 2 of the Schitt's Creek monthly yarn clubs that have come from Sue. They are surprise. This one is I think you're brave. I think you're brave, and I like your sweater. And what I love about it is it makes me Google to look up the quote and rewatch that that scene. Aren't these pretty? And now I look at it from, oh, this is going to be pretty in my poo blanket for scraps. And that one, this will probably be Steve's next pair of socks. 3rd time's a charm, right? If you know how many times I've messed up his socks. Okay. As I am known to do, I doubled some charts again. So I'm going to be going to a couple of retreats, and I thought, ooh, wouldn't Shelly's needle cards be fun table make gifts? If you're going with me, don't listen. I really only, well, yeah. So I thought, oh, I'm going to make this. And I didn't have the chart. So I got on Shelly's website, Antique Needleworkers chart. I got on Shelly's website and I ordered the chart. And then I thought, wait a minute, I think there are a couple other charts I don't have. And I use the app to track my stuff, but apparently it's not foolproof because I didn't have morning prayer, which is true, I didn't have. And in my app, I didn't have Emmanuel or the Law of Kindness, but I was sure I had the Law of Kindness, but I didn't go down and actually look physically for the chart. So today I learned I already have these. Then, as I was taking a walk Saturday, I was watching Shelly's floss tube, and she announced she has a new chart, which is Grateful, Thankful, Blessed, and it's a Quaker. And so I sent her a text. I said, hey, can you add one of these to my order? And she very kindly did, but she also said, would you like one to give to your viewers? And I said, of course I would, Shelly. So one for me, one for you. Please use the word grateful in your comment. You can tell me things you're grateful for. Grateful. And I will send one to you. And I don't think this would take very long to stitch up. It's really pretty. And then while we're at it, since I already have these 2, I will also give someone kindness if you will use the word kindness. The Law of Kindness is what I will give you. But use the word kindness. So we have grateful and kindness. And then Emmanuel, which makes me think, did anybody listen to Point of Grace Christmas music from 30 years ago? It makes me think of the Oh Emmanuel, God with us song. Love that song. So use the word Christmas. How about? Are you excited for Christmas? Are you preparing for Christmas? Are you stitching Christmas? So 3 of these will be, not 3 of these, 1 of each of these will be given the word grateful, thankful, Christmas. I'm gonna put those aside and I'm gonna remember what I told you to use. Okay, that is first. Hey, guess what? I got this for $10 on Facebook Marketplace. Excuse the glare. Isn't that fun? I got $10. I'll take it. It's framed. The only problem is, I don't know if you can tell in there, it's wrinkly and it's crooked. Now, do I take it apart and fix it, or do I just put it up? I also want to put a sticker on. I started thinking about that. Some of the things that I have not stitched that I've picked up, I want to put a sticker so my kids one day know, Mom did not stitch this. Not that they probably care, but like feel free to Goodwill, whatever you want, but the things I didn't stitch. But this was $10. And the lady was so kind. She drove to a local meeting place to meet up with me, which I appreciated. Okay, next in my recently acquired things. Do you watch Mojo Stitches floss tube? She is a designer in Australia. She is so precious. And her last floss tube kind of broke my heart because it was about tariffs and how that's going to affect her business. And so I quickly ordered things. She has she did not have her marketplace releases available yet, obviously, but she had all the other things in her shop. And so I placed an order from Joanna, and she's so sweet. So here's what I got. Also, she said she will be selling PDFs if that situation helps people. Hey, Heidi, Whips and Kits. Tell me when we're gonna stitch. Humble sampler, I'm ready. Okay, these are things I ordered from, I think this goes with this. No. IKEA Heart. And I think it has specialty stitches in it. Look at that bird. This is Among the Roses. Sorry about my glare, my back window gives it to us. I really like this. On Kindness, Jane Whiston. The kindness that my friends have shown, oh, teach me to repay by double kindness of my own in every future day. And that will probably be a quick stitch. And she had the Cottage Garden thread pack to go along with it. So I ordered that. Sarah Hanley, isn't this pretty? It gives me Christmas vibes, but it's not Christmassy. Maybe it's the red. I'm liking birds right now. Rosella Rests. And this one is Christmas Baubles. And then she really sweetly sent me an extra chart that I didn't order, Vienna Roses. So I'm gonna pass that along to you all. So that's 4. Use the word, what could it be? Rose. And you can use them in sentences if you want, but you can also just list the words, I don't mind. So Vienna Roses from Mojo Stitchers, and go watch her floss too. She's a sweetheart. And look, she had them all bundled up with this chenille. Okay, next. I've learned that I'm not one for surprise things very often, and I don't know why, just on a whim, I ordered the summer box from the Wishing Thorn. And was I happy I did. It is such a pretty box. So when you open it up, it's tied with a ribbon. It has this pretty envelope that's sealed with a sticker, which I'm gonna put these things in my journal. And then there's postcards with charts on the back, stickers for labeling the back of things. These are the charts she included. This is Maria Person. I assume that's how you say it. Secret Garden Sampler. Sarah Ann Guy. This is probably my favorite in there. Rebecca Worrell. And I think she's released this one to the public now. I've seen it on her social media. Isn't that pretty? I really like the antique. So I might use a darker linen to give more of that antique look like that. But then, let me see if I can just hold up the box without spilling it. Oh, this was on the top of the box. This key that says love. But look at all that she includes. So this is a zipper pouch. The thread pack, DMC thread packs for Sarah Guy. And then they're just miscellaneous red DMCs and Jenny Thompson floss. There's a Classic Colorworks bandana and a Classic Colorworks Velsois. There's 2 linens, Fiber on a Whim, Cappuccino, and Moonstone. And look at this cute box of Jenny Thompson threads and a 103 silk. So wasn't that fun? That was a box I really loved. So that's that. Let me just throw that to the floor. Nicola Hands Across the Sea has Friends of Hands Across the Sea, which is a Facebook group for her products. She has some freebies that she posts on there, and then she has some exclusives or early releases. But she is going to have a stitch along next year. And I am someone who, I do my work before my play, I call it. So if I have like an assigned thing that I need to complete each month to stay caught up, I'm more likely to do it. And I have not yet completed a Hands Across the Sea. I have many whips, but not one completed, right? I don't think so. So it's Maria Wales Newson. Is this still August? It is. If you hurry to become a member of Hands Across the Sea Facebook group and you order this now, she sends you free. Okay, I'm gonna have to open this because there's a card covering the chart. Maria Wales Newsom's second, or maybe if this is her first one, but there's two by this Maria Nelson. This is going to be included for free. If you don't do it by the end of August, this will be, I think, a paid chart. But you know, I love a deal. So this is gonna start in 2026. I did not order the thread pack because I'm gonna pull my own, but I think that's really fun. And again, I need the accountability. So that was a fun Hands Across the Sea purchase. Hey, this was sent to me. Velvet Pony is a designer who has a Patreon. And she asked if I would like a chart, and I said, well, sure. And so she emailed me the PDF to this. It is called Bison, please. I think it's called Bison Beauty. I'm missing one page, but this is what it looks like. So if that's something that interests you, Velvet Pony on Patreon, you can go to there. Okay, speaking of black samplers, which I said now that I want to do, I got my homespun needlework purchase. Did Colorado Cross Stitch, I think, sent this. This is a needlework press, and it's Marianne Bridgewater and Susanna Ann Maxwell. I don't think these would take long if I started and finished, but to add to my black sampler wall. And it came with, sorry for crinkling, it came with 46 count Valley Forge, which is what I specified, and these Classic Colorworks, and this, what is this called? It'll come to me later, but you know what I mean. Isn't that cute? Let's take it out and look at it. What are they called? Doesn't matter, you know what I mean. Now you cannot get this one anymore, but Homespun Needleworks on Facebook has exclusives every few months, and these usually are released a year later, but not always. Mary Wigginton is one that I think will always be exclusive. Then I saw, I love Hands Across the Sea. I think I just collect the charts again. But this is Magdalena Oathwaite, and look at that. I thought this is so pretty. Might just do this. And I was ordering from Australia again, A Stitch in Time in Australia. I got to meet them at market, and they're so sweet. This is the card that came with it. I mean, I'm gonna display that. So I ordered it from them along with the thread pack. There's no rhyme or reason when I decided, oh, I'll just pull floss for that or order a thread pack. I don't know. I wish I could explain my mind, but I can't. And while you're ordering from Australia, I said, what else you got? Like, what other exclusives do you have? And so she, I forget how I said it. I can't remember if I said, you only live once, give it all to me. Go big or go home is what I said. And so that was how she titled my invoice, Go Big or Go Home. Now, my best friend Tam, admittedly, is behind on floss tubes, so it might be after her birthday when she watches this, but this looks like Tam to me. She's loving birds right now. My friends are in their bird watching era, right, girls? And these are Tam's colors. She loves teal and red, so I might gift her this for her birthday. We'll see. And then the store is called A Stitch in Time, and so this is an exclusive. A Stitch in Time saves 9. Again, from a red sampler wall I will one day have that I don't yet have. And then she had some of the fabrics for those. And I said, sure, I'll take those, because you know, one day I want to make, I can make project bags, but I kind of like the idea of a patchwork jean jacket, maybe. It's still floating around in my head. And then Elizabeth Poindexter, another black sampler. I have a lot of stitching to do, don't I? And then, let's see, where are they? She also had Minnie McBean's fripperies to go along with them that were exclusives to her shop. And I said, sure, give me those. Because again, how often am I really gonna order from Australia? And I was trying to beat the tariff stuff and trying to support the out of the country shops. That's what I ordered. Now I'm trying to be better. I do have one decent size order from Traditional Stitches coming. They had an exclusive, I think, that I wanted. I'm gonna start stitching faster so I can get all these things done. Plans, do I have any plans? I'm gonna stitch, I'm gonna crochet, I'm gonna knit, I'm gonna quilt. I wanna make some project bag kind of things. I'm going to Dying to Stitch in October. I'm planning to, God willing, I'm doing that. Make sure the neighbor is stable before I do that. My two of my grandkids live behind us, and one of them is Graham, who tends to be tricky sometimes, so that's what I hope. And otherwise, I just plan to enjoy fall. I'm gonna be seeing my Cleveland grandbabies in 2 weeks. No, that's just next weekend. And hopefully my Indiana grandbabies are coming this weekend. That's what we hope. So that's fun. That's all I have. Can I close you with a quote from Winnie the Pooh, because he's my favorite? Hello, new day. It's lovely to meet you. Every new morning is a gift. You know how I feel about that. I'm so glad you joined me today. And I'll see you next time. Bye.